Hello there guys, welcome to one of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current transfer rumours and gossip. So if you do consider drop your likes, and if you do consider subscribe to the channel as always. So lots to talk about on this video today, but the first topic of development I'm going to give you an update on is in regards to Romelu Lukaku, as I have been updating you about Lukaku on a regular basis, but more additional information is updated about him. So as you are all aware, we do know that Romelu Lukaku is relentlessly linked to move to Inter Milan. According to Romelu Lukaku's agent Federico Pastorella, he's given us an update and he said that Inter Milan are desperate to sign Romelu Lukaku, but he has classified the move as complicated, based on the huge transfer fee that we've put on him, because we want somewhere in the region around £80 million, and obviously Inter Milan are trying to offload a couple of their players to help them generate funds to meet that £80 million valuation. So the fee does seem to be the stumbling block at this present time. We're looking to recoup the money that we did pay for him from Everton a couple of years ago, because we did pay £75 million for him. Obviously, there were add-ons included in the deal, which should potentially rise it to around £90 million. And of course, Lukaku has still got 3 years left on his contract. So obviously, Lukaku is our second most expensive signing. Reports that came out last month suggesting that allegedly Lukaku had agreed personal terms with Inter Milan, and he did reportedly say he had agreed a deal worth around £180,000 a week. So it does say that Lukaku's agent Federico Pastorella was met up with Inter Milan bosses yesterday, because I think Lukaku's agent is doing everything he can to get his client his move to Inter Milan, because Lukaku's blatantly made it clear he wants to make the move to Inter Milan. Obviously wants to rejuvenate his career, and obviously he did recently describe Antonio Conte as one of the best managers in the world, and I think Lukaku is keen on playing under Antonio Conte's guidance, because probably believes he will flourish under Antonio Conte's guidance. And obviously Antonio Conte has identified Romelu Lukaku as his number one target. We are unwilling to accept swap deals that Inter Milan of course have offered us. They've tried offering us Mario Cardi for Romelu Lukaku. They've also tried offering us Ivan Perisic as part of the deal for Romelu Lukaku. Also Inter Milan been inquired about getting Romelu Lukaku on loan, with then the obligation to buy for the further £63 million. But Manchester United have turned this down, because we're only willing to let Lukaku go on a permanent deal. But like I did basically say, I think the club need to focus on selling players, because for the entirety of this window so far we've been mainly focusing on the incomings. But I think we need to offload players to help us generate funds and rebuild the squad. Obviously so far this summer we have got 2 signings on the board. Obviously Daniel James for £18 million. Obviously we've got Wan-Bissaka in a deal with around £50 million. So if you want to include the add-ons, that's taken Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's net spend up to around £68 million so far this summer. But I do believe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to want to build on this, and he's going to want to bring at least 3 more new additions to the squad. And I think now Solskjaer's priorities will be to get a central defender in, and he'll also want to add reinforcements in that midfield. Don't forget allegedly we've only been given around £100 million to spend, and obviously £100 million isn't enough for us to address the deficiencies in the squad, and obviously it isn't enough for us to bring a number of players that we do want in. But I thought initially we'd been given around £200 million to spend. But like I said, Lukaku's been relentlessly linked to move to Inter Milan and all that. Obviously Lukaku served 2 years with Manchester United. He has scored 42 goals in 96 games for the club in all competitions. Lukaku was exceptional in his first season with Manchester United, but obviously didn't replicate that in his second season. Under Jose Mourinho, Lukaku was first choice, but since Jose Mourinho's departure and since Solskjaer's been recommended in, obviously Lukaku has found himself service to requirements, because obviously Rashford has been first choice ahead of Romelu Lukaku, and I believe that Lukaku is reluctant to play a backup role to Marcus Rashford. But you do know that I've got strong reservations about him, even though I think his ratio's still very, very good. His goal scoring pedigree, and that's really, really good is Romelu Lukaku's, because he has scored a lot of goals in the Premier League. But I think it will be very beneficial if we can sell him. I think it'll help us with our rebuilding process. It will of course help us with our transition. But like I said, if we sell Pogba and Lukaku, I think we can generate around £200 million for their departures. So at the moment the fee is the stumbling block of Lukaku making his proposed move to Inter Milan. So Inter Milan are trying to sell players to help them generate funds to meet that £80 million valuation, because probably we believe he's within the region from between £70 to £80 million, reflecting on his age. He's still only 26 years of age, as Lukaku, and he's still in his prime, and he has still got a lot of years ahead of him and all that. But Inter Milan have tried offering a couple of players to go in for Romelu Lukaku, but Manchester United have turned this down. They've inquired about getting him on on loan. But obviously, again, Manchester United, of course, have turned this down. We're only willing to let Romelu Lukaku go on a permanent deal. So that's the latest news on that. So Inter Milan are desperately trying to sign him. This is coming from Federico Pastorella, Lukaku's agent, and all that. He said the other week that Lukaku's agent was in Milan, holding negotiations with Inter Milan and all that. But Antonio Conte knows how imperative it is, to get a deal over the line for Lukaku, because Antonio Conte has identified him as his number one target. But reportedly now, there's been quite a few players in our agenda, who could replace Romelu Lukaku at the football club, of course, if he does leave. Now, I was reading the Metro yesterday, and that did basically say that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has identified, Lyon's Moussa Dembele and Lille's Nicolas Pepe as potential replacements for Romelu Lukaku. Now, I haven't updated you about Moussa Dembele in quite a while, because nothing much really has updated about Moussa Dembele, in quite a while. Manchester United reportedly, were in for him before. He is only 22 years of age. It was his debut season in France last season, and I think he did really, really well. Obviously, Lyon got him for around, was it for around 19 or 20 million pounds last summer from Celtic. He is under contract with Lyon until 2023 and all that. I don't really know much about Moussa Dembele, to be quite honest with you. He had a couple of years in Scotland with Celtic. I think he did really, really well with Celtic. I think he also played for Fulham. I think he began his senior career with Fulham, did Moussa Dembele. But reportedly, I think he's set to be valued at around 40 odd million pounds. He did say quite a while back Manchester United had lodged a bid in for him of around 40 million pounds. So reportedly, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has identified him as a replacement for Romelu Lukaku. So do you think he would be the right solution? Well, he did demonstrate last season, his first season in France, that he can score goals, he can provide, and that he can lead the lines and all that. So do you think Moussa Dembele would be the right solution? Like I said, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has also targeted Lille's Nicolas Pepe. Now, I like Nicolas Pepe a lot, and I've been updating you about Nicolas Pepe on a regular basis. He's the obvious candidate for the right wing for Manchester United, because obviously we are in search for a winger. Obviously, there's been quite a few winners on our current agenda. Now, Nicolas Pepe has been subject to a lot of transfer speculation. As we all do know, Liverpool have been in for him. Obviously, Manchester United are in for him. Obviously, reports emerged out, I think, the other week saying that Inter Milan were in for him, and Inter Milan were preparing to put a bid in for him around £80 million. Atletico Madrid have been in for him. I think Arsenal have been in for Nicolas Pepe since January. I think Bayern Munich have inquired about his services, because Bayern Munich are looking for a replacement for Arjen Robben and Frank Ribery and all that. I think also PSG have been in there for Nicolas Pepe, but it's very imminent that Nicolas Pepe is going to be leaving Lille. Obviously, the Lille chairman had confirmed this, was it around 6 or 7 weeks ago now. He said that Nicolas Pepe will be leaving Lille this summer, but it still remains uncertain where he will be applying his trade next season. Duncan Castles reported on this about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and he did say Manchester United and Liverpool are interested, and he did say Man United and Liverpool had made initial contact with Lille over the possibility of signing Nicolas Pepe. And I do like Nicolas Pepe a lot, and I do believe if he comes to the Premier League, it will be the next step for him. It will rejuvenate his career, and I do believe he's got all the attributes to definitely succeed in the Premier League. Only 24 years of age. I think Lille do value him at around £70 million, so he's probably going to take a bid in the excess of around £70 million, to convince Lille to offload him. But he is primarily a winner. He served a couple of years with Lille. I think he scored 37 goals in 79 appearances. I think he's still got 3 years left on his contract with Lille. But so far, Nicolas Pepe has spent the entirety of his career in France. But very, very good player. Can score goals, can provide, really, really good at creating chances. So he's the type of player that Manchester United do need. But maybe from Nicolas Pepe's perspective, a player of his calibre probably wants to be in Champions League football, and obviously the likes of Manchester United and Arsenal can't offer Nicolas Pepe Champions League football, and it is going to be hard for us to attract players to elite level, because obviously we're not in Champions League football for next season. It's also going to be hard for us to convince our imperative players to remain at the football club and all that. But Nicolas Pepe was the revelation for Lille last season. He scored 22 goals and provided 11 assists. So he's the type of player I would like Manchester United, because I would be excited about the prospect of linking up Nicolas Pepe with the likes of Martial and Rashford. But I would love Nicolas Pepe to come to Manchester United. But I think Inter Milan have actually stepped up their interest in him, as it did emerge out last week. So reportedly Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has identified Lyon's Moussa Dembele and Lille's Nicolas Pepe as potential replacements for Romelu Lukaku and all that. So hopefully Lukaku can leave the football club, because it will help us generate funds and rebuild the squad and all that. And you do know that I've got strong reservations about him and all that. So Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as you all know, has worked out his transfer strategy for this summer. Obviously, he wants to develop a squad of young, hungry, homegrown talent. I think we are moving away from the policy, of signing them well-established players. And I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer believes he's following a policy, that proved successful under Alex Ferguson and all that. Like I did currently say. In regards to Bruno Fernandes, now potentially, it's looking very imminent that Bruno Fernandes is going to be, he could maybe be our third signing this summer. It's either going to be Sean Longstaff that's going to be our third signing this summer, or Bruno Fernandes is going to be our third signing this summer. But as he did give you the update yesterday in regards to Bruno Fernandes, now reportedly he did say Manchester United have made breakthrough in Bruno Fernandes' talks, and it does say reportedly that Bruno Fernandes' agent has flown to England, to thrash out a deal for his client, and it does allegedly say Manchester United have agreed a contract with Bruno Fernandes worth around £100,000 a week. I don't think yet a fee has come to an agreement, and the fee is actually the stumbling block at the moment, because reportedly Sporting Lisbon have said they want in the region of around £55 million. I think Manchester United are reluctant to pay that, because I think we're only willing to pay up to around £31 million for his services. But we do know Manchester United have been considered the favourites to sign Bruno Fernandes, at least for the last 2 to 3 weeks we've been considered the favourites, according to Ebola, the Portuguese press and all that. But obviously all we've got to do now is come to an agreement on a fee. He did initially say on Monday that reportedly Manchester United had held negotiations with Bruno Fernandes' representatives, and it reportedly said now the personal terms have been agreed. We have now reached an agreement with Sporting Lisbon, but we've just now got to come to an agreement on a fee. But I think Bruno Fernandes is actually keen on making the move to Manchester United. We do know Liverpool have been in for him. Also, Tottenham have been in for him. Also, Manchester City have been in for him. Obviously, reflecting back 7 weeks ago or something like that, was it? It was looking like that City were going to get a deal concluded for Bruno Fernandes. But obviously, as it did confirm, Manchester City have withdrawn their interest, and I think it confirmed the other week now that Liverpool and Tottenham have also withdrawn their interest. So I do believe, of what I've read of recent reports, Manchester United are only in the running, to sign Bruno Fernandes. But I don't think Bruno Fernandes' move to Manchester United is dependent on what happens with Paul Pogba, because I think even if Paul Pogba does stay at the football club, which isn't obviously not going to happen, he's still keen on adding 2 new additions in our midfield. He's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But when Paul Pogba does leave, I think Bruno Fernandes, would be a fantastic adequate replacement for him. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes is only 24 years of age. He's still got a hell of a lot of development in him. He's primarily an attacking midfielder. He's served a couple of years with Sporting Lisbon. Obviously, he's still under contract with Sporting Lisbon until 2023 and all that. And he's been there a couple of years. Last season, he scored 31 goals in all competitions. He also, can create chances as well. Very, very good player. And I do believe if he comes to Manchester United, he will bring us them goals that we need in that midfield. He'll have depth in our midfield and all that. And he'll actually, rejuvenate the team. And he's been one of our main priority targets for quite some time. So I think it's very imperative, that we do get this deal over the line for Bruno Fernandes. But I do believe this is very, very good business for Manchester United if we can get the deal fully secured for Bruno Fernandes. Mate, I don't think we'll get it fully secured this week. We may get, Bruno Fernandes' deal fully over the line, sometime next week. So I believe, it should be made official, sometime next week. But I probably believe Manchester United, will hold more extensive talks with his agent and all that over coming to an agreement on a fee. But Bruno Fernandes, I know he hasn't really played to the highest level as yet, but I do believe he's got all the attributes to definitely succeed in the Premier League, and I do believe he will exceed expectations levels in the Premier League. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes, when he was younger, he spent the majority of his career in Italy, the likes of Sampdoria and Udinese, and I think he also played for Novia. So hopefully we can get this deal concluded for Bruno Fernandes, but probably don't expect it, to be fully official this week. Probably, that will happen next week. But I did say to you guys yesterday, and I also said on Monday, I hope Manchester United, can get 2 signings confirmed this week. I think from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's perspective, he's blatantly made it clear, he wants to get at least one more signing on the board, before we do go on pre-season tour in Australia. So Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has currently confirmed this. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did say, was it a couple of months back, he wanted the majority of our transfer business done, by the beginning of this month and all that. But like I said, I'm hopeful we can get one deal secured this weekend. I'm hopeful we can get two secured, but I don't think we're going to get two secured. But I expect us, to currently, get one secured, and I hope that Sean Longstaff is going to come in this week. Obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is instructed, Manchester United to get a deal completed for Sean Longstaff, because Solskjaer wants the signing of Sean Longstaff completed this week. Now, Sean Longstaff, of course, has been on Manchester United's agenda. I think we have been given a boost in our pursuit of Sean Longstaff, following the departure of Rafael Benitez. He is available for a reasonable figure and all that. He's obviously going to be a cheaper solution than Bruno Fernandes. If Sean Longstaff comes in, I'm sceptical about him getting straight into the first team. I don't think he'll get straight into the first team with Sean Longstaff, but with Bruno Fernandes, obviously, he'd get straight. He'd be obviously, first choice straight away, with Bruno Fernandes if he was to come in to Manchester United. I do believe Newcastle want around £20 million for Sean Longstaff, including add-ons. So I think Newcastle value Sean Longstaff around 25 or 30 million pounds. I think Manchester United are set to put a bid in for him around 15 million pounds, including add-ons and all that. But yeah, I think I'm very, very confident. We can get this deal over the line for Sean Longstaff. Only 21 years of age. Obviously, still got a hell of a lot of development in him. Plus, he's British, and there's been quite a few British players on our agenda this summer, because obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to recruit British talents to Manchester United and all that. But Sean Longstaff, I think, is primarily a central midfielder. Has had a bit of experience under his belt. He only broke into Newcastle's senior squad in December last year. Of course, made his debut. He recently signed a new contract with Newcastle, so he is under contract with them, I think, until 2022. But I think he flourished under Rafa Benitez's guidance last season. Did Sean Longstaff? I think he played around 11 games. I still believe that Sean Longstaff is recovering, is regaining full fitness, because obviously he's still regaining full fitness, because obviously he sustained a knee ligament injury back in March, and obviously Sean Longstaff didn't play the last couple of months of last season due to this knee ligament injury, of course he had currently sustained. But hopefully Manchester United can get a deal completed for Sean Longstaff sometime this week. So probably Sean Longstaff may come in before Bruno Fernandes. Is a cheaper solution than Bruno Fernandes, like I currently said, but it's looking likely he's going to be coming to Manchester United. I think Manchester United have held talks with Newcastle, but I think we're set to hold more further talks over coming to an agreement on a fee. But I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has just instructed Manchester United, just to basically meet what Newcastle are demanding. He began his career with Newcastle and all that. I think he also had loan spells, in Scotland with Kilmarnock. He also had a loan spell with Blackpool. So it's looking very imminent, according to recent reports, that Sean Longstaff, is going to be coming to Manchester United and all that. So like I said, there's been so many midfielders on our current agenda. Obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is looking to build a squad, worthy of the club's mystery and all that. And like I said, it's very, very essential, that we do get our number one targets this summer, because we need to see vast improvements, going on into this season, because last season was very disappointing. We finished sixth. Of course, we didn't win many silverware last season, and we haven't won any silverware in the past couple of seasons and all that. And obviously, we didn't get anyone in January. We didn't get as number one targets last summer and all that. But like I said, we have been a toxic club for the last 5 or 6 years, and the main factor reason, why we have been a toxic club, because obviously we've been mismanaged. This is the main factor reason, why we've been underachieving and all that. And we've had different managers with different philosophies, and a hell of a lot of money has been invested into the club. Of course, players have come in, and of course, players have gone and all that. But like I said, we've been playing catch up for the last 5 or 6 years, like I said. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is still in the process of currently rebuilding, and the majority of this squad at the moment is not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's. The only players at the moment are Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's, who of course is purchased, are Daniel James from Swansea and Wan-Bissaka, of course, from Crystal Palace. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is still inheriting 11 of Jose Mourinho's players. He's still inheriting a lot of players here from the Van Gaal era. There's still Matty from the David Moyes era, and there's still 4 or 5 players here from the Alex Ferguson era, of course, he's inheriting. But I do believe our expectations going on into this season, probably will be to finish in the top 4. I don't think our expectations going on to this season, will be to win the league or challenge for the league, and I don't think it will currently happen anyway. But I do believe in the next couple of seasons, our aspirations, is definitely going to be that top 4, in my opinion. But I hope Ole Gunnar Solskjaer can take us forward, and I hope he's got the stature, to get us in that commanding position, of course, where we do, currently want to be. So I hope he can elevate Manchester United forward and all that. He has got a bit of experience as a manager. He did win a couple of Norwegian titles with Mould. He didn't really work out for him at Cardiff. He only had a short tenure with Cardiff, so he hasn't really got the experience of a manager, to the highest level. But he has got a bit of experience of a manager. But he was a great player for Manchester United for 11 years under Alex Ferguson. replacement. And I do believe that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you know, is following Alex Ferguson's philosophy and all that. But I would probably give him at least a year or 2 years, you know, to see how it currently works out. But Solskjaer's working on, you know, bringing the right players to Manchester United. We think he's going to elevate Manchester United forward. And obviously he's also working on, you know, trying to keep his imperative players at the football club. But I'll probably expect around 4, 5, 6 players maybe to leave Manchester United this summer. We know Valencia's left the club. Obviously after he served 10 years with Manchester United, it was good business for Manchester United because we did get the replacement for Valencia in Wan-Bissaka. And I do believe Wan-Bissaka's got all the ingredients, you know, to be required, you know, to become a huge success at Manchester United. Obviously Ander Herrera's left on a free transfer, so it's very essential that the club do get a replacement for him. Obviously I think Darwin and Rojo, I do presume they will be leaving the club, and I think we can generate around 25 or 30 million pounds, you know, for the departures of Darwin and Rojo. I think now David De Gea is going to be staying. Obviously we do know now that Juan Mata, of course, is going to be staying and all that. So, you know, we do need to sell players this summer, like I said, you know, to help us generate funds and of course rebuild the squad. But there is actually, you know, still lots to address in the squad. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you know, wants to revitalise this Manchester United squad and all that. As I've been updating you on a regular basis within regards to Paul Pogba and all that, obviously we do know he's been relentlessly, you know, linked to move away from Manchester United as Paul Pogba. I think he's set to hand a transfer request in as Paul Pogba, you know, sometime this week. I think he did say he's set to hold negotiations with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, or probably already has held a negotiation with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer within regards to his future and all that. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer knows how much of an imperative player Paul Pogba is, and I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is doing everything, you know, he currently can, you know, try and convince Paul Pogba to remain at the football club, because initially it's been in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's plans, you know, to actually, you know, build a side around Paul Pogba. But Paul Pogba, you know, did confirm last month, you know, he's seeking for a new challenge. You know, he publicly admitted, you know, that he does want to leave Manchester United for the first time, and he basically said he was even willing to go on strike, you know, to force a move away from Manchester United, you know, Paul Pogba. But like I did say, the couple of main factors why probably maybe Paul Pogba wants to leave the football club, because maybe he wants to be playing amongst better players and he isn't playing amongst good enough players at Manchester United. Maybe he wants to be, you know, in Champions League football. Maybe he wants to be, you know, winning stuff and competing, and he's not experiencing this, you know, at Manchester United and all that. Obviously, you know, we've indicated that Paul Pogba is initially not for sale, but he did say, you know, would accept a bid in the region of around £150 million. And even though Paul Pogba hasn't been the fundamental player as we all thought he would have been, you know, I'd still say in this market at this day and age, he's still worth in the region from between 140 to 150 million pounds. But we do know it's Real Madrid and Juventus, of course, that are battling out for his services and all that. Is Real Madrid and Juventus that are battling out for his services. Obviously, his first choice preference for quite some time has been Real Madrid. We do know he's like a destination for a long time has been Real Madrid. But obviously, we've said £150 million, but this is a figure, of course, that Real Madrid are reluctant, you know, to currently meet. Obviously, you know, Juventus have set their interest up at least in the last couple of weeks. Obviously, it says Juventus have been in negotiations with his agent Mini Raiola. It also says, you know, that the other week Juventus director had travelled to London, you know, to hold negotiations with Manchester United over the possibility of re-signing Paul Pogba. But Juventus have done good business in this window, or have done good business in this window so far. Obviously, they've got De Ligt on the board. They've obviously, you know, got Adrian Rabiot on the board, and they've also got Aaron Ramsey on the board. So probably more than likely Juventus would have to offload one or two of their essential players to fund the move for Paul Pogba, reflecting on the huge transfer fee we've put on him, because I don't think, you know, Juventus, you know, would be able to afford him outright. But maybe, you know, he did have 4 good years in cheering, you know, the Paul Pogba, and he hasn't really replicated this since he did come to made the return to Manchester United, but he did have 4 good years in cheering. The Juventus director, you know, recently explained of how much, you know, Juventus, you know, do love Paul Pogba. But reportedly it does say, you know, Juventus are willing to offer Paul Dybala as part of the deal, you know, for them to currently sign Paul Pogba. Now, Paul Dybala, of course, has been actually, you know, linked to move to Manchester United for quite some time now. I was reading reports, was it a month or so ago, that this was coming from his agent and his brother, and it did say, you know, Paul Dybala, they said, you know, that Paul Dybala, you know, could leave Juventus this summer, because I think he has found himself these 2 requirements as Dybala. Obviously, you know, he enjoyed a difficult time last season with Juventus, because obviously since the arrival of Cristiano Ronaldo last summer, you know, Paul Dybala has found himself these 2 requirements. Obviously, last season he was in and out of the Juventus squad. But, you know, would you take Paul Dybala at Manchester United? Like I said, I've got some reservations about him, you know, but he has proven in his 4-year period with Juventus that he can score goals, he can lead the lines and all that. How old's Dybala? Is he 25 years of age? So he has still got a hell of a lot of development in him. But yeah, I did say, Juventus are willing to offload him as part of the deal, for them, to currently sign Paul Pogba. But I think Juventus are willing to offer as a couple of their players, to currently get Paul Pogba on the board. I think also Alexandro's being mentioned. I think Manchester United were in for Alexandro a couple of years ago. I think at one point, Chelsea had inquired about his services. But like I did say, with Real Madrid, obviously, they want to include Gareth Bale as part of the deal, for them to currently sign Paul Pogba. So Bale, if Paul Pogba does go to Real Madrid, Bale, could, still possibly, make the move to Manchester United. So looking at ultimately, Bale, could still come to Manchester United, and we do know the transfer saga, does still continue to persist there about Gareth Bale. Obviously, he's been relentlessly linked to a move away from Real Madrid. He's also been relentlessly linked to a move to Manchester United since 2012, 2013, and the rumours, of course, have continued to persist since then. Obviously, Real Madrid have blatantly made it clear, they don't want Gareth Bale. They want to basically, offload him. According to Gareth Bale's agent, he says that Gareth Bale has got no intentions of leaving Real Madrid. But Real Madrid did confirm at the end of last season, Zinedine Zidane did say, Gareth Bale has no future at Real Madrid, and he also said that he no longer fits his plans with Real Madrid. And I don't want Gareth Bale at Manchester United. If you'd asked me a couple of years ago, maybe I would have took Gareth Bale at Manchester United, but I've got too many strong reservations about him now. He's been inconsistent in his last couple of seasons with Real Madrid. Plus, he's aging up. Is he 30 now, or is he nearly 30 years of age? He is injury prone. Is Gareth Bale. But despite the fact that he's injury prone, though, to be fair to Bale, his ratio still very, very good. He scored 102 goals in 231 games for Real Madrid, and I think he's created around 64 assists. So that's still very, very impressive. Despite the fact that he's injury prone. Obviously, he served 6 years with Real Madrid. He's still got 3 years left on his contract with Real Madrid. But we are in desperate search for the winger, because obviously Bale can play on the left. Also, Bale can play on the right. But I just don't want Bale at Manchester United and all that. And there's been quite a few winners on our agenda. But like I said, the likes of Nicolas Pepe and Jadon Sancho, I think they would be a much better solution than Gareth Bale. If I'm going to be quite honest, maybe some Manchester United fans, would attack Gareth Bale in. Obviously, he's had experience of playing in the Premier League. Obviously, he had 6 years there with Tottenham, when he was young, and he did, really, really well. Did Gareth Bale. But Real Madrid, of course, paid £85 million for him. And discarding Bale has been part of any swap deal and all that. Discarding him, Real Madrid putting him out on loan. Real Madrid are going to find it, very, very difficult anyway, to get rid of him permanently, based on his substantial wages. I don't think any teams are going to be able to afford him outright. Maybe the odd team or two may be able to afford him outright. But like I said, I don't want to see Bale as part of the deal with Paul Pogba. But anyway, Bale has got no intentions anywhere of leaving Real Madrid. But like I said, Real Madrid have done good business so far this summer. They've got 5 players on the board. I think Real Madrid have spent over £300 million on 5 players. Obviously, they spent the vast majority of that on Eden Hazard for around £150 million. But we've said want in the region of around £150 million. Obviously, Paul Pogba's still got 2 years left on his current deal with Manchester United, with an option to extend by a further year. With an option to extend by a further year, and he's obviously the most expensive, player for Manchester United. He's also one of the highest paid players at the club, because he's on around £290,000 a week. Obviously, reports came out the other week saying that we was willing to offer Paul Pogba a long-term contract, worth up to around £500,000 a week and all that. But like I did say, Paul Pogba's agent, Mini Raiola, has been in the process of finding Paul Pogba a new club, at least for the last couple of months. But, we have seen glimpses of Paul Pogba's best form. We mainly saw it in that 3-month period when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the interim manager. That's when we mainly saw the best of Paul Pogba, because he was in scintillating form. Obviously, we mainly saw the best of Pogba as well when Ander Herrera was playing. So that just emphasises how much of an impact, Ander Herrera, of course, made in that midfield. But Paul Pogba, the transfer saga about Paul Pogba does still continue to persist, but he's been subject to a hell of a lot of transfer speculation. And this was the same last year. He was, subject to a lot of transfer speculation. Obviously, this was under the Jose Mourinho era, because obviously Paul Pogba was linked with Juventus last year. It was also linked to a move to Barcelona back in January, because Paul Pogba had a bad relationship with Jose Mourinho, and Paul Pogba got one of his best wishes when Jose Mourinho left the club. Obviously, Paul Pogba with the club has won, the Europa League and the League Cup. Obviously, that came in his second season with Manchester United. But I think it's looking very, very likely anyway. He is going to be leaving the club, and I think it's very, very essential essential that Manchester United do get an adequate replacement for him. Like I said, Bruno Fernandes is the #1 target, to replace Paul Pogba at Manchester United and all that. But Paul Pogba did say, he will ask Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, to let him leave. And Paul Pogba's that, determined to leave Manchester United. He even did say he was willing to make a personal plea to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, to currently allow him to leave. But I think he's set to put a transfer request in, like I said, sometime this week. But yeah, there's been so many midfielders on our agenda. I've just been reading reports up about Saul Niguez from Atletico Madrid. Now, Saul Niguez, I've not spoken to you about Saul Niguez in such a long time, because obviously nothing has really updated about him. But reportedly says if Paul Pogba is to leave Manchester United, which is looking very, very likely, it says Manchester United may go in for Saul Niguez. He's probably going to cost an extortionate amount, is Saul Niguez, because I think Atletico Madrid are set to lose Antoine Griezmann. Obviously, they don't want to lose Saul Niguez. I think the only way Atletico Madrid would consider offloading Saul Niguez is if, of course, his release clause was triggered. And I think his release clause is around 135 million pounds. But it does say Manchester United will maybe go in for him, of course, if Paul Pogba does leave the club. Saul Niguez is 24 years of age. I think he can play as a central or a defensive midfielder. I think he has spent the entirety of his career with Atletico Madrid as Saul Niguez. I think he graduated from their youth system and all that, so he was a product of their youth academy, and I think he's gone on to play over 200 competitive games for Atletico Madrid and all that. But yeah, reportedly stories came out about this some time back, saying, quite a while back, saying that Manchester United, were in for Saul Niguez. So do you think Saul Niguez, would be a good adequate replacement for Paul Pogba? But he's going to cost a staggering amount of money, because his release clause is around 135 million pounds. But only 24 years of age, still got a hell of a lot of years ahead of him. So do you believe, he would improve our midfield if he was to come to Manchester United and all that? But there has been a lot of talks about him, currently going on quite recently. I actually read this in the Sports Mill today about Saul Niguez. Obviously, I give you an update yesterday, didn't I, in regards to Dani Olmo from Dynamo Zagreb. Now, it did say yesterday that Manchester United were in for him, reflecting on his impressive performances, throughout the European Championship and all that, because he did, put some good performances in. It reportedly said Manchester United had submitted a bid for him of around £35 million for Dani Olmo, and it also said he is attracted to the Premier League, so maybe Dani Olmo is keen on making a move to the Premier League, to rejuvenate his career and all that. I think he's got 2 years remaining on his contract, with Dynamo Zagreb. 2 years remaining on his contract and all that. I think he's an attacking midfielder. He can also play as a winner, so he also can play on each flank. So he is versatile. He is only 21 years of age, but he's been subject to a lot of transfer speculation, because quite a lot of teams have expressed their interest in the player. But it does reportedly say that Manchester United have submitted a bid for him around £35 million. According to Dani Olmo's agent, he basically said that Manchester United are interested in signing his client and all that. But yeah, £35 million is a reasonable figure. This may be too insufficient for Dynamo Zagreb. Maybe they would want maybe a bit more than £35 million. But yeah, like I said, it does say Manchester United are in for him. Obviously, I think he's been at Dynamo Zagreb, since 2014. I think he joined them at the age of 16. He is now 21. Obviously, I think he's. I think for Dynamo Zagreb in all competitions, I think he's made 102 appearances. He's scored 26 goals in 102 appearances, and I think he's created around 21 assists. So his stats are quite impressive. If I'm going to be quite honest with you, obviously he used to play for Barcelona. Obviously, I think he was in Barcelona's youth academy for around 7 years. Was Dani Olmo. He never got into Barcelona's first team, but he was in their youth academy for around 7 years. But quite a few teams have been in for Dani Olmo. Obviously, we would see him as an adequate replacement for Paul Pogba. So yeah, there has been a lot of talks about him, currently going on. I think the vast majority of Manchester United fans, would obviously, like to see James Maddison also come in. And I like James Maddison a lot, very, very good player. Obviously, last season was his debut season in the Premier League, with Leicester. I think last season played 36 games in the Premier League, was involved in 14 goals, also created more chances than any other player in the Premier League last season did James Maddison. So basically, that just demonstrates, how good he is, at creating chances, of how good he is at scoring goals and providing them and all that. So I do believe it would be the right solution for Manchester United. James Maddison is only 22 years of age. Of course, he is British. Like I said, he's primarily an attacking midfielder. Obviously, Leicester did pay £20 million for his services last summer from Norwich. He initially signed a 5-year contract with Leicester, but he's got 4 years now remaining on his contract with Leicester, as you all know. But he did allegedly say, you know, that he's interested in making a move to Manchester United. He did say the other week that he wanted to meet up with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you know, the James Maddison. But like I said, before he was at Leicester, he did have a good couple of seasons in the Championship with Norwich. I think he also had a loan spell in Scotland with Aberdeen. And James Maddison actually, you know, began his career with Coventry, so he was a product of their academy. And I think quite a few teams have been tracking him, you know, since he was a teenager at Coventry. But stories came out about this around, was it 4 or 5 weeks ago? You know, reportedly saying, you know, Manchester United emerged him as a priority target. He did say if Leicester were willing to sell him, you know, they would want in the region around £60 million. But I like James Maddison a lot, you know, proven in the Premier League. He's had a year of experience under his belt in the Premier League, good at scoring goals, can create chances and all that. So again, I think he would be a good replacement for Paul Pogba. So there has been so many midfielders on our current agenda. Obviously, Giovanni Lo Celso from Real Betis. Obviously, I've been giving you an update about him on a regular basis. I don't think he's one of our main priority targets, Giovanni Lo Celso, but he still says, you know, Manchester United are in for him. Also, Tottenham are battling out for his services. Tottenham obviously are still in for Giovanni Lo Celso, even though they have got 2 signings on the board this summer. Obviously, they got Jack Clark from Leeds that got announced the other day. Obviously, you know, they confirmed the signing of Tanguy Ndombele did Tottenham. So obviously, you know, they've got 2 players on the board so far this summer. But I think now Tottenham are orchestrating on, you know, trying to get Giovanni Lo Celso on the board, and I think Tottenham are also still going in for Ryan Sessegnon from Fulham. But Tottenham were obviously reflecting back, was it last month or was it over a month ago now? He said Tottenham had lodged around the £53 million bidding for Giovanni Lo Celso, but obviously, you know, this £53 million off from Tottenham was too insufficient for Real Betis, because obviously so they turned this £53 million bid down. So Real Betis, I think, are looking for somewhere in the region around £70 million. He said last month Tottenham had been in negotiation with Real Betis over getting a deal concluded for, you know, Giovanni Lo Celso and all that. But yeah, Real Betis want somewhere in the region around £70 million. But yeah, Tottenham had been in negotiations last month over getting a deal concluded. But yeah, Manchester United have been in there for him. He's 23 years of age, Giovanni Lo Celso. He's Argentinian, of course. Obviously, last season was his first season, you know, with Real Betis. He spent the majority of last season on loan with Real Betis. Obviously, Real Betis initially got him last summer from PSG and all that. I think they paid an initial fee around £2 million, was it, to get him on loan. But obviously, Real Betis did have the option to buy. So obviously, Real Betis did make the deal permanent back in April by paying a further £20 million. But if Real Betis, of course, do sell him, obviously PSG, you know, do benefit from it, because obviously, you know, they get a percentage of any sale. And I think Giovanni Lo Celso's release clause is around £88 million. So he does say, you know, Manchester United, of course, are in for him. So yeah, so many midfielders have been on our current agenda. But I'm hopeful that we can get Sean Longstaff in, and I'm hopeful that Bruno Fernandes can come in. So analysing it, I think they're going to be our next 2 signings. Obviously, we do know that we're in search for a central defender. You know, that's very, very essential. Indeed, that we do get a central defender in to Manchester United, because we need someone that can partner alongside Victor Lindelof in our back line. And, you know, a vast majority of Manchester United fans have been hearing, you know, they've been saying that, you know, we need 2 central defenders, because obviously we've got issues defensively. That was proven last season, because last season we conceded 54 goals in the Premier League last season in 38 Premier League games, and obviously that just proves the issues that we've currently got defensively. And we haven't had a world-class central defender, you know, since we had the likes of Vidic and Ferdinand and all that. So we need to get a world-class central defender in. So there has been so many central defenders on our current agenda. So as I've been updating you on a regular basis with regards to Harry Maguire from Leicester, now obviously I've been giving you an update about him on a regular basis, because we do know he's been linked with a move to Manchester United and Manchester City. Obviously, you know, it is Manchester United and Manchester City that are battling now for his services. Now, obviously, reports came out earlier on this week. This came out from Sky Sports, and you know, they said Manchester United launched around the £70 million bidding for Harry Maguire. Obviously, this was insufficient for Leicester. So basically, you know, Leicester turned this £70 million offered down, and I think Leicester have blatantly made it clear, you know, they want, I think they've actually notified Manchester United, you know, they want at least around £90 million. But reports came out towards the back end of last week, and you know, it basically said that we'd reportedly ended our interest, you know, based on the huge transfer fee that Leicester have currently put on him, because it said towards the back end of last week that Leicester, you know, wanted around £100 million. So it did say they wanted £90 million up front, you know, with £10 million, of course, in add-ons and all that. So he did initially say, we'd ended our interest in Harry Maguire. But like I said, it is Manchester United and Manchester City, of course, that are battling out for his services. Obviously, Sky Sports did report as well. They did say that talks have been ongoing, between both Manchester clubs and Leicester, for several weeks and that now. But he still indicated out that no fee has yet come to an agreement, no deal has yet come to an agreement. I think a fee is far from being agreed, between this and all that. But yeah, it came out the other week. It was obviously, looking like that Manchester City, we're going to sign Harry Maguire, because I think Harry Maguire has blatantly made it clear, he wants her to make the move to Manchester City and all that. He did say the other week that Manchester City were set to sign him for the world record fee of £80 million. Obviously, this would make him the most expensive defender in world football, ahead of Liverpool's Virgil van Dijk, who Liverpool paid £75 million for, and it did say City were willing to pay him around £280,000 a week. But I think it did confirm that talks between Manchester City and Leicester had stalled, based on the huge transfer fee. Because City are not willing to pay up to 80 or £90 million for him. And this is why now we are reportedly in pole position to sign him. Because maybe we may pay up to 80 or £90 million for Harry Maguire. But looking at it ultimately, Leicester don't want to sell Harry Maguire. This is the main factor reason why they've priced him out of the transfer market. This is why they are demanding an extortionate amount. Because Leicester know how much of an essential player he is to them. But I think Harry Maguire, definitely wants to leave Leicester and all that. He definitely wants to currently leave. But very, very good central defender without a shadow of a doubt. If it comes to Manchester United, he will improve his defensively. His defensive abilities are good. He shows that ability to play out from the back. He's really, really good in the air. He hasn't really got much pace, Harry Maguire, but I think his physical attributes are absolutely fantastic. He's 26 years of age. He's in his prime. He has still got a lot of years ahead of him. Plus he's British, and he has served a couple of years with Leicester. He's made 76 appearances for Leicester in all competitions. 69 of them have come in the Premier League. Obviously, last summer he signed a new contract with Leicester until 2023. So last summer he did sign a new long-term contract, and Leicester did pay £17 million for his services from Hull, back in 2017. But yeah, like I said, he's been very, very impressive with Leicester. Obviously as well, I think he had a loan spell with Wigan. Like I said, he had a couple of years with Hull. He actually began his career with Sheffield United as a youngster. But as he updated you yesterday, Arsenal, tried to hijack our move for Harry Maguire, and it reportedly said Arsenal had inquired about his services, and he did reportedly say that Arsenal had lodged a bidding of around £50 million. Obviously, that's way too insufficient for Leicester. That's around £34 million less than what Leicester are currently demanding. But yeah, it said Arsenal had put a bid in around £50 million, and obviously Arsenal have got issues defensively. Obviously, Arsenal have got a tight budget. They've only got around 40 or 45 million pounds to spend this summer. So I do believe Arsenal need to sell players, to help them generate funds and rebuild their squad and all that. But I don't think he'll go to Arsenal anywhere. But Manchester United and Arsenal can't offer Harry Maguire Champions League football. Obviously, Manchester City can offer him Champions League football. But Manchester City, of course, are seeing Harry Maguire as a replacement for Vincent Kompany. I think also City are considering offloading Otamendi and all that. Because if Harry Maguire does go to Man City, he will be playing alongside John Stones and, Laporte and all that. But I don't know if he can, emulate into like a Van Dijk from Liverpool or a Koulibaly from Napoli. I'm not too sure about that, but I still think he's a very, very good central defender. Without a shadow of a doubt, Harry Maguire is a very, very good central defender. But there's been so many central defenders on our agenda. Because, like I said, Smalling, Jones are not good enough. They've been too long-serving players at the club, and it was bad business for Manchester United, giving them 2 new long-term contracts. Smalling's been here 9 years. Of course, Jones has been here 8 years, but they're no longer good enough to represent Manchester United. So probably we do need 2 central defenders. Obviously, Koulibaly's been on our agenda. I don't see Koulibaly coming to Manchester United because I think Napoli are reluctant, to offload him. Obviously, De Ligt was on our agenda. Obviously, he's totally out of the equation now because obviously, he's gone to Juventus. He obviously, was one of our main priority targets at one point. Like I said, with Issa Diop, I gave you the news about Issa Diop yesterday. I think Manchester United are set to make their first formal offer for Issa Diop. And I think Issa Diop now is one of our priority targets. Looking at it from a financial point of view, Issa Diop, will obviously, will be Issy Diop, you know, would be a cheaper solution than, you know, Harry Maguire. He would be a cheaper solution than Koulibaly and all that. But, you know, I think West Ham, you know, still said, you know, they want in the region of at least around £60 million if they're willing to offload him. Reports did suggest out about Issy Diop last month, and it reportedly said Manchester United had made a player plus cash offer to West Ham. So he did say we'd offered £45 million, and it also said we'd offered Phil Jones as part of the deal. But West Ham, of course, you know, turned this down. But I think Issy Diop did say he's keen on making the move to Manchester United. But I think now Manchester United are preparing to put a new offer in for him of around £45 million. Maybe this won't be enough, you know, to convince West Ham, you know, to currently offload him. But he's only 22 years of age. Is Issy Diop? He's only 22 years of age. 22. That's very, very young. Obviously, last season was his first season in the Premier League with West Ham. I think he played around 33 games last season for West Ham. I think he made about 38 appearances in all competitions. West Ham did get him last summer from Toulouse for around £22 million. He's got 4 years remaining on his contract with West Ham. 4 years remaining on his contract at West Ham, but I do presume that Issy Diop is very, very good in the air. I do presume he's very, very good in the air, Issy Diop, because he's very, very tall. I do believe he's also a very, very good athlete, so I do believe, you know, he can hold his line, you know, really, really well. So would you like to see him come to Manchester United? But he would be a cheaper solution than Harry Maguire. But yeah, it was our priority last summer, you know, to recommend a central defender to come in. But obviously, reflecting back last summer, the board weren't backing the signings that Jose Mourinho wanted to recommend to come in. And reflecting back last summer, one of the players Jose Mourinho wanted was Harry Maguire, and you know the rumours about Harry Maguire coming to Manchester United have continued to persist since last summer and all that. So I'm very, very hopeful we can get a deal secured for Harry Maguire. Do I think it will happen? Well, I don't know, to be quite honest. I'm confident I'm confident because obviously City are not willing to meet what Leicester are demanding, but maybe now Manchester United are considering to meet what Leicester are demanding, so we just can get the deal fully finalised for him. But he did say initially that Harry Maguire's got no interest of coming to Manchester United whatsoever. But yeah, anyway guys, that's everything to update today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do consider subscribe as always, and take care, God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon guys. Thanks for watching.